Good.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll call the commission meeting for February 24th, 2021 to order. We can have a moment of silent prayer followed by the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Then we have a 10 o'clock hearing for an alley closure, Molly Sandy Enterprise area.
You have a map in your agenda, Commissioners. Ms. Sandy is here, as well as Ms. Schaefer, who has been working on this through the planning department. So I know Ms. Sandy has some originals that we'll need for the record of publication or certification of on the publication of the legal notice and proceeding. If there's any, once the hearing would be open, if there's anybody here to speak in favor or against the alley closure.
Okay, then I guess I will open the hearing for the alley closure. Ms. Sandy, would you like to speak to this? No, I don't need to swear her in. Do I need to swear her in?
No.
You can come up here if you want to. Read it back there wherever you're comfortable.
I came here back there anyway. Okay.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what you're wanting to do and what you have done? Have you notified all the property owners, adjacent property owners? And do you have evidence of that?
Yes.
Okay. What is it you're exactly wanting to do? I mean, I've got a map here in front of me. I don't know where the alley is. I'm assuming it's from, whoa, Riverview Drive to County Route 19/54. Is that where you're trying to, where is it exactly?
I would know the address on
Can
it.
you help, Charlotte? Do you?
There's several areas. There's one, sorry.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yes, one goes from Riverview Drive down to the County Route 19/54.
And then those two have one.
There's enough, and there's 1, 2, 3 pieces that are in behind those properties. And coming off of the main one, there is another piece of
To the right.
alley to the right.
Not the one to the left, because I was just.
There's one to the left as well.
But is she wanting to abandon that as well? How would you, well, okay, never mind. Is this Paul and Gloria Sandy? How would they gain access if you abandon that L shape?
They have access to that.
Doesn't it
To
appear?
that parcel.
Am I missing something?
Yes, they have access to whole property.
To this property.
And this one, they have access to it both ways.
I don't see how they would get to there. I mean, if they don't combine all of that, I don't see how they would get into that one.
Well, they have a driveway to this one.
Okay.
So they just made the driveway on up through here to this one and this one. The driveway.
Okay.
You know, they have right here, they have there's a garage in there. And the driveway comes up to the garage. And then they can come on up through there.
Well, I guess first off, we need to make sure that you have evidence that shows that, I guess, Mary, I don't know what that name is, was notified, and the most, looks like the others adjacent to the one is just you. Other than
She's,
who owns parcel number 74? She owns all that?
she owns, yes.
Okay, that's two lots, I see now. Okay.
Did you
You guys
copy
have
this
any
for them?
Question?
This is in their
Okay,
packet.
okay.
Have you reviewed the documentation to see that she has notified the property owners
Yes.
and the publications?
Yes,
Okay, we'll need to get,
We need the certification of
Yeah, well-
publication and
and then the certified letters.
she has notified her and them.
did she bring that with her today?
She did,
Mhm,
The publication in the newspaper, the certification of that,
mhm.
yes.
the 72.1 or 7, whatever. 12, whatever that is. You see where he's talking about?
This, oh, the 72.1?
Do you mind if I take a look?
I don't.
Because
That's
Right.
Gloria,
we're the other property
Gloria
owners.
Sandy.
Who,
So we're 72-1,
you're 72.1?
yes,
Okay. So you're that little piece right there,
right.
okay. Okay, so
So
if there's this one, how would you get, if you don't combine those, how would you get to this?
Well, we own this too,
Okay,
okay? So these, I mean, we could get to those this way.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think that's fine, but I just didn't know the procedure. When you close an alleyway, what happens?
you split it.
Okay, and you get a new deed drawn, right?
Yes,
Okay. So yeah, that's no problem getting to these. But then we had, I don't know if this is another issue, but they're on us on this side as well. So I don't know if we could do something with that before we do the deed. Does that make sense? Because their property, their stuff is on our property here.
This right here is the alleyway between,
Does that make sense?
I don't understand. what
you
you're
own
saying.
this,
Yes, we own this and this as
Okay.
well.
okay, so you
So
have
we can
access
get-
from
yes,
here and you have
and-
access from here,
Yes,
mhm.
and then this has nothing to do with us, correct?
correct?
Or is that right there too?
Just that
that
little
little
piece right
piece.
there,
Okay,
yeah. So you're good with that?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Okay, you just had a conversation, and I'm not sure that this and that.
Sorry.
There and here, and
You want to take, go
yeah,
and explain that to the commission. To the-
Put it up somewhere so the commission can actually see what's being discussed.
She-
I thought we-
let Mr. Finkel
I
finish.
thought we were supposed to have something that we could look at without going through another TV or.
Yes, but that's 3 weeks ago, Commissioner.
okay, so they own this as well. And there is a driveway that goes all the way through there, so they can access this piece of property. This one right here, they would split. Paul and Gloria also own this. Okay, so all of this would mostly go to her, except for a part of this. And for them, they have access here. And they own this, so they have access here. And they also own this, so they have access there.
But she has access here.
Yes,
And Mary McKenna
yes.
is willing to give up her access to the back of the property.
Was she notified?
Yes,
Goes
she
to the
was.
back.
Yeah.
She is not here, correct? Is there anybody here against this?
No,
Anybody present? Anybody on Zoom for this?
What about
Gloria.
this? They talking about this island?
This is Clay.
This is Molly's and this is Molly's.
Yeah, she owns everything. See, this was the only one that I was afraid of.
Yeah.
But if she owns this and
She
can
owns
get
this
access,
as
then
well, and
she's okay,
she has access.
and you're fine with all this.
My only question is, either one of these alleys been used for utilities? Are you sure that nobody's run water or sewage?
I am not.
Any utilities on that property?
Anyway,
Utilities, water, sewer,
No.
gas, electric?
no,
That's the only issue. Taking away the ability to filter sewer or water run through there.
It's. On this one, is there any sewage, water lines or
No.
anything like that that you know of?
no, not that I know
I'll check into it, to make sure.
What do we want to wait to make a decision on this till we hear back from Charlotte about the,
Would be my recommendation.
You could have the hearing today and close the hearing, and then pending
right,
and additional information, you can make a decision that would not require another public hearing.
Right.
If that's agreeable with the commission.
I'm good with that. David?
of. Okay.
So motion to move forward
Can I see that paper again?
pending confirmation that
Oh,
there are
this
no
one.
utilities.
On this right here,
It will bring back a,
where my granddaughter's trailer is sitting, kind of like on part of it,
Right.
and she has a septic tank that went across here. Right here, because it's on me. She has a septic tank that comes across that street.
yeah, just, a septic for an individual. It's more like public utilities.
Oh, well, there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's the concern, but we'll verify.
Oh, okay.
If it's agreeable to the commission, once we get the information, I'll get with Mr. Simmerman and have him prepare an order.
And then you have to make sure you get a deed prepared
And
for this. And get it
Yeah.
Get it recorded on who's
And,
responsible for that.
I'll have him outline that procedure in the order for the commission. If that would be agreeable.
That's agreeable to me. So the motion, as Patsy stated, with the additions to what Mr. Hinkle stated, and as soon as we hear back from him about the
Okay,
the utilities, he will get with the attorney.
okay.
Make sense? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Then I will have to come back.
Any opposed? No opposition?
No, you would not need to come back unless you wanted to. Just get with Ms. Schaefer to make sure. Charlotte, we have copies of all the documentation before you leave today.
Okay.
And before you move on, David, I understand that last week's meeting, that they were supposed to go get the TV last Wednesday, so I'm not sure. Has the TV been brought in? Does anybody know?
I sent a text to Brian. I'll get with him today and make sure it's available before next week. I don't know if it's here or not. I've been out until this week, so I do not know.
Not to my knowledge, but I've already sent a text telling the guys to make sure Billy knows where it's at. But I didn't know anything about having it here by Wednesday.
Okay. Okay with that now? Can we move on?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Number one, public comment. Is there anybody in the room for public comment? Seeing none, we will move to the Zoom. Is there anybody on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anybody on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Number two, consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Just like you pointed out, it's the same issue as the last time. We have a PSD that's just sending us don't.
Charlotte is gonna work with them, is that correct? Am I recalling that?
Yes, we're gonna be following up on that between Ms. Schaefer and Ms. Tompkins. But we have not been able to get, because of the weather, any of those meetings and such yet. I'll pull the file and resend and have Ms. Tompkins follow up on the information, financial information, examples, template, whatever you want to call it, that we sent to all PSDs last time. And we'll try that again and continue to try and work on that.
I would like to use PSD's information pulled from the agenda. There's nothing there to approve. I don't want us accepting that stuff.
So let me ask you this, have they had meetings since David brought this up a few months ago?
Yes,
And no one from the courthouse has been able to attend any of those meetings due to the weather every time?
I don't know when they've had meetings.
Okay.
February the 9th, perhaps.
Okay. So,
We've asked them to inform us of their meetings. Some do, most do not.
I don't care so much about the meetings, but somebody's got to get them, their financials straightened out.
Ms. Tompkins going to be tasked with that endeavor. She has an accounting degree and accounting background.
who's gonna check on that, Willie?
Michelle Tompkins will be following up on the financial information with the PSDs.
Okay. Does
She-
she know that?
I've talked to her before I was out for 2 weeks. I have not talked to her this week and told her she would be tasked with that responsibility. I have forwarded, as we're getting emails with minutes and whatever financial information we get, and have forwarded that to her and give, like the Greater Harrison PSD where we get, profit and loss, income statements and such. That's the template we have sent to all the PSDs, but on more than one occasion.
Okay.
But we'll follow up in a more concentrated effort.
So what's the pleasure on the consent agenda?
We should move forward, excluding.
Eastview Public Service District.
Okay,
I don't want to approve of this.
I'm fine with that.
There's
So
really nothing, doesn't exist.
Well, it's just
it's not a complete.
24
it's not a-
checks that were written, that's it.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the consent agenda minus E2, which is Eastview PSD. It says meeting minutes, it's what they're financial. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, it's 10:18 and I think we have a 10:15, don't we? No, we did have a 10:15. Never mind. Okay, number 3, payroll change notices. Is there a plan to hire more?
Yes, I talked to Mr. Copenhaver and Mr. Bump. It'll be a matter of re-advertising to,
Why not 3? I thought we were hiring.
we've hired 2. We had 5 positions. Of the interviews they did and the testing did, they were satisfied with 2 of the
I
applicants.
see. Thank you. Okay. Just was curious, I knew there were 5.
Yeah, there's
Okay, what's the pleasure on the payroll change notice?
Move forward.
Motion to move forward on payroll change notices.
I'd like to comment on Jessica's self resignation. Jessica, I hate to see leave. As you know, I was the lone commissioner at the time that voted not to hire you. But I think it's what, been 2 years almost.
Mhm.
And I think you've proven me wrong in those 2 years. When I've needed stuff done, you did a good job. I know you came into a tough situation, big shoes to fill with the person that had passed away. And I hate to see you leave, but at the same time, I always like to see people better themselves and move forward with their lives when they get that opportunity. So congratulations on your new endeavor and good luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the commission, and thank you to Mr. Parker and everyone here for all that you've done and been to me. People have been very kind, and hasn't always been easy, but great people make great places. So thank you, and best of luck to all of you.
Same to you. Thank you. Okay. Motion, anything further? Okay, motion to move forward on the payroll change notices. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Exonerations, corrective tickets, joint property applications.
I'd like to approve exonerations EP-1. EP2, RE1, RE2, RE3, RE4. And corrected ticket EP1.
Okay, motion's been made to approve the exonerations and corrective tickets regarding personal property and real estate that he named. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Consolidation of land, segregation of land.
We have none.
Number 6. Do we have any before I read all of it?
Yes, we do.
Consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2015 A and B Development District Number 3, White Oaks Project Number 2, and Series 2008 A Charles Point Project Number 2, Northland Bay Improvement. Mr. Park.
Ms. Jones has the originals for the signatures. One is for Genesis Partners Limited Partnership in the amount of $30,415.53. Of course, as the commissioners are aware, this is paid from the bond proceeds and not from general county type funding. The other one we have is $608,310.63, which is Wolf Excavating in the amount of $484,880.66. And then Bear Contracting and James Christie make up the balance of that requisition. So unless there's questions, it would just be appropriate for a motion for the president to affix her signature to the original.
Any questions?
Were bills paid last meeting?
You mean what bills?
General county bills, or
For these requisition things?
I don't think they had any at the last
Here's
meeting.
the question, I'm sorry.
Did they have any requisitions at the last meeting for this?
No,
I didn't think
There were
so.
none last week. What's the pleasure? Move forward with the requisitions. All in favor that Willie explained, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 7,
We do have one under number 7 also.
consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building Project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission. Or Mr., I'm sorry. Parker.
We have one requisition for Mon Pirates. It deals with the relocation of the utilities in Modoc Avenue or Alley in the amount of $36,828. That would require the president's signature.
Questions about that? What's the pleasure of the commission? That's the motion to move forward with the president's signature. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Number 8 was placed on there, and I believe everybody has a copy of the one that we had last week. And I believe Mr. Parker was not good, I mean, not for today.
Yeah,
Our
I'm
intent is to go through that.
and modify that for Harrison County, not as an employee situation, but in a contract situation with the duties outlined, and then bring that back for the commission to finalize or review, finalize, whatever you want to call that. So as you review that, if you have any comments, questions, items that you would like to see, let me know. But Mr. Simmerman contacted Berkeley County. I think he explained last week that recently employed an attorney on staff and received that information.
But that's a full-time, was it a full-time?
Yes.
Because it represents the other. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Does anybody have a problem with him going ahead and doing that? Do we need to put that in the form of a motion, or do we just want to make this part of today's record?
I'll proceed unless there's any other comments or questions or input, and then finalize that.
Is that all right, with everybody? You okay with that? Okay. So Mr. Parker will move forward with that and look at that and bring it back. You got that?
Correct.
Okay. Review, discuss, consider pay increases for family court bailiffs.
I remember right, this was on the February 3rd agenda a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever that may be. And Chief Miller here to follow up on that, follow up on any additional questions, comments, or items the commission may have.
Motion to move forward with both positions. Should be a letter. You should have received a letter.
I laid a letter at the table. It wasn't in the agenda. We failed to include that in the agenda, so I made a copy of the letter that was in the previous agenda. It's promoting Robert G. Matheny II to Chief Investigator, which is moving to pay grade 11-6. David Harrison moving to Lieutenant of Security in Mr. Matheny's current position, 11-2. And then the position that Mr. Harris has right now will be considered for filling at a later date.
Another question I do have is the money is in the budget for this and to replace Mr. Harris.
The money is in courthouse security under the vital services levy. And as the commissioners are aware, on February the 3rd, we did do a budget revision that added funding from the reserve balance or excess, revenue that was generated for the courthouse security to that area. So
Well, let me ask you, Willie, do we still need the voter store security at all? I think we can shut that down. And the basement, I don't think we need a person down there to tell adults to sign a piece of paper and scan the forehead. Can we cut that? Well, direct, Rick to go ahead and close those up.
For the garage area,
For the garage, he's using a bailiff, which I don't think or not a bailiff, but a jailer
Jailer, I'm sorry, jailer.
I don't think you need an individual down there anymore.
Let's take care of one, and then we'll go.
Yes, please, because I thought, when the gentleman retired and Mr. Miller took over, because he was taking both jobs, we gave Mr. Miller a raise to handle both jobs, if not. Mr. Parker,
oh, that was directed to me, I'm sorry.
somebody, did we not give Rick a raise?
I'd have to go back and check I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and check to see the payroll status. I don't know if Rick or Mr. Chief Miller received an increase at that time or not.
My motion's on the table, all this, the information is available today.
Okay, motion is to table due to we don't have previous salary information, is that correct? Is that why you want
I want no salary information, know what it's gonna cost, whether it's needed, if we're gonna get rid of somebody, I don't know how much is in the budget.
I just received the chief's number.
That's what I thought.
Don't know how we hire two people when nobody can sit there and tell me, well, we have the money.
The money,
Well, the money is in the budget, that was my question.
the money's in the vital service levy, but as the commissioners are aware, we're supplementing with reserve funds from the vital service levy for courthouse security. Because as you're aware, when the levy was passed, however number of years ago, we did not have full-time positions in the courthouse security. They were all part-time positions. So that was not budgeted for at that time, and we've been using reserves to supplement that. Now,
So what's courthouse security cost in this?
off the top of my head, 425,000 a year, in that neighborhood.
Did we shrunk it or is it just grow?
It has increased since the last levy was passed because of the additional full-time positions, or the full-time positions that were added at that time.
This seems like a Band-Aid situation, that something should be talked about during budgeting and looked at through the levy.
Okay, so we got a motion on the floor to table this until next week?
Whenever the information can be gotten to us, Susan.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We have the sheriff would like to speak. Well, let's finish this. Okay, so we're gonna table this till next week. And then we have Mr. Streetcost motion to move forward, or do you want to?
Yeah, it's already tabled.
Okay, okay. Sheriff?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to speak to some of the questions. I obviously can't speak to who's promoted and regarding pay for, one of the individuals because they're a family member, and I certainly wouldn't do that. But as far as, the budgeting, the amount of money that we pay for, security, I could have answered some of those questions, and I just wanted to chime in and let you know that I'm available to answer those questions if you still want to hear that.
No.
Okay. Just be ready next week, Robert.
Okay, and like I say, it's, the questions that I can answer, but I specifically can't take part in any of the decisions on who's promoted or pay salaries for a family member, and I certainly wouldn't do that.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
10:30, public nuisance hearing, Sharon Bork, Arlington area. Thank you, Rick.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you double check, make sure there's no one in the hallway?
There's not, she sold it.
Okay.
She sold it to some guy. He said, we gave him 90 days to get it tore down.
When did she sell it?
The agreement, you have that. I think it was, we just did get this a couple days ago. And it looks like on the 8th of February. His name is Kenneth Keener.
The agreement's dated February the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're related.
Don't think so.
So this means you have to start over again.
Yes.
Question for you. If we were to revise and allow you all to go out tomorrow and start getting this person in front of the magistrate and start finding him on a daily basis, correct? If we were to rewrite our,
If you rewrote it, yes. If you used the other code, yes. But with the other code also comes another board.
Another who?
Board.
Okay.
that board just oversees the dilapidation funds and trash department, correct?
Correct.
And they're appealed to us afterwards for the final, so we don't have to deal with any of this till their board's been appealed, correct?
Correct.
Under that statute, I think it's 731 FF.
Mhm.
There's still a due process, a notification procedure. So I'd have to check, but I think even if the property's sold, we still may have to give notification and due process.
We don't have to give a year.
Oh, no, no,
Oh, no,
no,
not a
no,
year,
no.
Within 30 to 60 days, we can be
Yeah.
finding this person and have them in front of magistrate court.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that we need to revisit that.
No matter what you do, it's gonna take time, even if you find people.
Correct.
And I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. but figure out. Okay. Number 10, consider a memorandum of understanding Harrison County aerial imagery.
The agreement is in the agenda packet. When we last did our request for proposals, bids, agreements, it was for a 3-year period. This is the 3rd year of that 3-year period, so it's already has commission approval unless,
That is my, I mean, Mike got hold of me and I didn't feel comfortable just signing it without bringing it
Right.
here.
and you know, with
Do
that
they
under,
sign it every year? Do they sign it?
yes,
Okay, okay, that was my question.
yeah, it's, unless you would like to make changes or anything along those llines, it would just be to proceed as the previous agreement.
Fair. What's the pleasure? Move forward. A motion to move forward. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider a resolution for funds from the West Virginia Community Corrections Fund for the Harrison County Community Corrections Program, adopting all special conditions and assurances contained in said grant, appointing the president of the Harrison County Commission to administer said program. Is that you?
Yeah, Mr. President, this is a grant that we apply for every year to subsidize the county or the community corrections salaries. And actually, the next two, the next one, so it's under the Justice Reinvestment Initiative Treatment Supervision Grant.
Okay, do we want to take 11 and 12 together?
That's up to you. You can, because it's all funding their positions.
Well, I'm asking them.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Go for it.
Okay, so the community corrections, we're asking actually $243,339. There is a 30% match, which we have to do every year. On the JRI, the maximum that we can get for the two positions, one's for the community engagement specialist, and the other one is for the peer recovery coach. So the max we can ask for that is $80,000, and there is no match on that one. And I just need your signatures.
Any questions from the commission?
Thank you, Dean. Motion to move forward.
Motion to move forward and fix signatures. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. No opposition, motion carried. So that takes care of 11 and 12. Number 13, review, discuss, consider approval of transfer of leave per approved policy. Was
There was just one individual, Mr. Harris, the deputy, that came back and reinstating up to, the 480 hours from where he was here previously. He had more than that, but slightly more than that, but as you commissioners are aware, the max is 480.
Any questions? It's a pleasure.
Move to approve.
Mr. Hinkle made a motion to move to approve. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carried. Okay, review, discuss, consider, have a sub-grant agreement.
Yes, it's the Habitaris grant that's associated with costs due to the COVID pandemic. It's for extra poll workers, absentee ballots, and postage. It's a request for reimbursement application for $96,966.87. It's been approved. We just need your signature on the contract to receive the money. It's reimbursement.
And that will go back into taking care of those line items that,
Yes.
okay, just want to make sure.
One question I had that I didn't realize, I don't know when we received this, but according to the agreement, the deadline for reimbursement was January 31st. Have they extended that?
Well, for this particular one, for the HAVA, yes.
Because
Yeah, this is a different,
This
this is a different grant. This isn't the CARES.
no, I understand, but in the agreement that's here on the
Oh,
HAVA,
it says,
it says January 31st, 2021 as the deadline for submission to get reimbursed. And I was wondering if they extended that deadline.
As
know
far
you
as I
got
know,
the
they
money,
did,
right?
because I didn't get the letter and the approval until February 11th.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't
Yeah.
have that.
Oh, okay. I knew the letter.
just a piece of the
yeah.
puzzle.
That's what I figured
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the case, that they got it out late.
yeah. We got the agreement last week, but it didn't get
Yeah.
on the agenda until this week, so we're good.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause that's another thing I didn't want to do without being.
that's just under $97,000 is
Right.
what that is the amount.
Yes.
Okay, did we have a motion? Motion to accept and affix signature. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. No opposition, motion carried. It's 10:45.
I have to say, things are starting to move with this demolition. Okay, so this is Jennifer Todd. I put the picture that Danny took yesterday for that house.
And this is after?
Yes. So she has a little bit more to clean up, but yes, she is finally complying.
And we're gonna keep after.
We are.
Swimming pool you want to-
Excuse me?
Swimming pool. On this property or not?
I don't know. It's probably the neighbors because this house has it's not been lived in for a very long time. Oh, right there. I see it. No, I'd say that's the neighbors.
How many more days you want to give them?
30. I don't think she'll need that, but
Motion for 30 more days.
Motion's been made to give them 30 more days. Any further discussion or any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now I think we're down to commissioner comments. Mr. Treehouse? Mr. Hancock? You have nothing. So we have 10 minutes to wait for the next one, correct? No, actually 12.
Not so much comment, but when you and Mr. Treehouse, I saw a calendar go out for budgeting.
I developed that.
And I wondered if it was going to be presented in the same form as previous budgets.
My plan was to prepare the same background information, the budget packet, the background information that I've prepared in the past, and then schedule elected officials and department heads as they're available on that the week of the 15th, I think it is, for a half hour or follow up if needed, for additional appointments. And the first day, I think, was the 11th, Thursday, the 11th, basically to review with the commission any other information you would need before the appointments would start on the 15th. That would give me, Friday and the weekend to get that information together, and then proceed with the appointments with the elected officials and department heads on what they have to present, and then finalizing after those appointments, and then final approval is projected on that calendar by March 24th.
So, all right, with the president, I would like to have copies of all the elected officials 2 days before meetings, and all department heads at least 2 days before meetings. I'd also like information that's available from assessors on where we're gonna be as far as tax collections go.
I will have, in that budget packet, I'll make sure that you have those, by the 10th at least, which is that Wednesday,
Now, the 11th is just for us to sit down and talk about where we are and
to
where we think we
review
need to
through.
go. Is that-
Yeah,
I
yes,
mean,
to
that's-
review through that. So I will get that to you on the 10th, that packet, the book, as I call it. And so you'll have that. We can review that on the 11th. The meetings would not start until the 15th, but I will have the elected officials are required by statute. And I can get those to you earlier if you'd like, their budgets. It's just, it'll be in that book, but they have to have them to the commission, I think, March the 2nd, if I remember right, first part of March. That gives me a few days to get all that information put together, and then with the background information included. So you'll have that in advance of the 11th, in advance of those meetings.
Madam President, when are we gonna have a meeting to determine the direction we want Mr. Parker to look at our budget?
I had not, I mean, if that's what you want to do that prior to the 11th, is that what you're,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. I'm open, Mr. Treehouse. Are you amenable to you? Any evening? Would it be okay?
Don't want Mr. Parker to start working on something unless the three of us.
Yeah, he needs a
agree
little
to it.
direction. He needs a little direction. I agree. So, I mean, I'm pretty free. You wanna do it Monday next week?
Monday next week or do it this week. It's up to you all. I don't have any meetings.
I'm not doing tomorrow, so if you.
You'll need at least 2 days notice,
Yeah.
because it will be a meeting.
Yeah, let's go to next week. Monday evening,
First,
It's fine.
okay.
4:30,
4:30?
David? Or you want to wait before dinner, after dinner?
Well, we can do it
4:30, be out here?
4:30, 5:30, 6:30, doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Whatever's the easiest for the,
What time you work?
Since we messed your day up that one day. Okay, so we're gonna set a special meeting to discuss our direction with the budget
yes, ma'am.
on March the 1st.
4:30.
4:30.
I think it would be prudent. I think it would be prudent.
Oh, I agree with you.
considering
That was, I
time.
think, part of the reason we wanted to meet last week, so. I know that was part of the reason. Why I said it. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Anything else? 6 minutes.
Really, I was talking earlier, and I think, and then talked to David and Susan, I think we can get back to normalcy as far as, people going out of the area. I don't think we need to have a 5-day quarantine anymore, and I don't think we need to have the door beside the voters and the person downstairs in the basement anymore. I think the courthouse can go back to regular hours, quite frankly. But, I mean, that's just my thoughts. I mean, by now, everybody knows to wear a mask and have proper hygiene. I really don't see what we would be changing, to tell you the truth.
Do we still need to track if there's an issue? That's, I mean,
I don't think you still need to sign in, but I don't think anybody in this room needs to be told in the basement to sign in or at the front door. And still have your, check your temperature.
Well, the public is not signing in or filling out the forms. It's only the employees. It's a matter of whether you want the employees to continue to fill out that form or just have the temperature check. It's, how you would like.
there's no way to monitor that temperature, is there?
Where are the public getting their temperature taken?
Just beside the,
At the front, at the reader there in the front
On the
entrance
side
or the
entrance.
side entrance, Third Street.
The reader.
Yeah,
We're not doing it manually.
Well,
unless the reader doesn't work.
yeah, there's many times the reader may not work or
I learned I have to step on the
someone's
wood
too,
downstairs.
someone's
It takes
too
forever.
short, or there's some people that it doesn't read. The reader does not, for whatever reason, I don't know.
but I mean, do you guys see any reason to continue with paying?
I don't see any reason to have that. I mean, I don't know about the Third Street door. Is there a reason really to leave that open? Because I still think everybody's going through the courthouse, irregardless of,
I know there's a number of employees that come in that way in the morning. That I do know. It's whatever we could just make that an exit only again. I mean, we could put that.
yeah, but don't need somebody there at the door. That's the whole,
If it's exit only.
yeah, but you'd have to unlock that door for it to be open because it's set up for security.
No, they can still
An
go,
alarm, they can turn the alarm off.
right, but they can go out and it still be locked from the other side, yeah.
If you want, I can make
And because
that.
they're entering and exiting the front door at the same time.
Yes, there's a,
So people are still passing each other.
there's that area is.
Yeah, let's, if you guys don't mind, I say we exit only there, nobody in the garage, nobody there, and then go ahead and get rid of that table in the front of the courthouse.
So you don't want outside of security, you don't want
I mean, I just don't see.
the other employees there to, it's whatever the commission would desire.
I mean, I'm not sure what the purpose is now. And as far as the
I mean,
quarantine,
have we had an issue recently?
Not that I'm aware of, it's just, the public's gonna have to, understand to get their temperature checked, which puts, maybe more effort on the security folks at the front door with those other people removed, which that's not my decision, but just right off the top of my head, if the public comes in, well, you need to back up and get your temperature taken. Well, there's somebody
I
behind.
guess my point is to the temperature taken, if they have a temperature, how are we gonna know? Can the guys see it on the screen?
Yes, it announces also. Yeah,
Okay.
it announces
So they
whether
can-
temperature normal or looks for a mask also. Now, not everybody does that, so if there's no one at the door, well, not everybody does it. Not that reader doesn't read everybody. If there's no one at the door, then the security folks will have to take a manual temperature.
But they can also see it when they can, if it doesn't read, that's what you're saying.
Yes.
I don't have.
I just hate putting the employees and the public back in the same doorway at the same time. We're gonna change the hours.
I thought the hours were already, did we not do that in the first of the year, make it 8:30?
The hours of the courthouse is 8:30 to 4:30. The public is not until 9 o'clock. Maybe one
So
suggestion
you
is
could
make this
just keep the hours that way, then the employees can come in and they're not with the.
make this a topic for next week. So we can get with Mr. Miller and his staff to see, if there's questions they would have that I'm not thinking
I'll
of.
ask Robert if he was still on there.
Do you all track how many people come through Third Street every day?
I'm sorry, Todd.
Can you tell us how many people come through the Third Street?
Yes, sir. On an average of, it's the crowd anywhere between 50 and 75
People come through there.
to come through the Third Street.
Employees.
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 Yeah, see, we don't decipher between the employees. What the officers do, they just put a little number down.
So we don't know how many public come through there going to,
No, that would be total, in total employees
And
and the public, 50 to
75,
70 at the most.
and nobody's coming through the back door to check?
No, sir. The only people that come through the back door are the officers that make an arrest. They pull in the Sally Port, bring the prisoner in, and then they go around and the officer comes into the back and goes in that way. But no other officers come in. Everybody comes in Third Street.
could the employees come through that door with a key card like they did before?
Not unless we put a temperature reader there. I mean,
Could you, tell us how much it's costing us a week to keep Third Street open?
Third Street open, you have, we have one officer, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. And we have the Parks and Recreation person. And I don't have any idea what that would be.
Give us that number, the next meeting, what it's costing.
Yeah, for your security person, it's approximately $100 a day plus the related payroll costs. So, $120 plus or minus a day for the security person there. So $600 a week for the security person
So
The parks-
8 hours at $20, so.
in round numbers.
Yeah, so wait, let me. Don't worry about it, guys. It's costing us a heck of a lot more than $600. Keep that door open.
That's just the part-time security staff, yes.
I mean, and, okay.
Well, I'd like to know we're spending on the front door.
Can we come to get this together and have it for next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of,
On the front door, we have 3, we have 2 on the machines, 1 rover. We have 1 officer who's outside to keep the people, if the ones that need to go to Third Street Magistrate Court, he gets them outside so they don't have to enter the building and go back out. And then if they're going to Magistrate Court or anything in the annex, the officer just directs them to go around to the side door. We have one person out there. We have 1 in Magistrate Court, which is full-time, 8 hours a day, and the 1 in Third Street. And then if there's anything extra, like extra things like drug court or something like that, we have to make arrangements. There's a lot of different assignments. Security at one time was just like 3 or 4 positions. But now that you're required to be at so many different locations at different times and whatever, it's went into, at one point, we were filling 55 positions a week. Doing the virus thing and everything, 55 positions, and that's around the clock. That's 24/7. That's from the control room to the front door to whatever. It's a roving thing. So, at one time you just had minimal at the front door. You didn't have the side door. You didn't have the back door. You didn't have the garage. So.
And Willie, correct me, that's why you made a $240,000 adjustment.
That's the main reason for the adjustment was the money that's allocated under the vital service levy doesn't cover all the cost. And as we've increased these part-time positions, yes, that was a contributing factor to that adjustment, most definitely. Wasn't the sole factor, but it was a contributing factor.
I think that's Pat's Act, that's a good thing for us to discuss on.
Bring those numbers back to us next week.
Yeah. And you must remember, like, when there's elections, we had to keep the front door open because of the handicap accessible, and we had to keep Third Street open for the early voting. So that's extra personnel, and that's extra out front because you had to keep the front door open in case somebody comes in handicapped. You can't come through Third Street. You can't come through the back door. So the only door that would be open would be the front door. So that was,
Get that stuff together for Monday afternoon's meeting?
yes.
We can
whatever
talk
you
about
feel.
them.
Mr. Miller and I could sit down and come up with some of those numbers, yes.
Yes.
So you add that to the agenda for Monday, please. Okay, 11 o'clock.
Florence Skipper. We've kind of, we talked to the daughter. Miss Gifford is 85 years old, and we found out that she has Alzheimer's. Her daughter has just recently gotten power of attorney, and I actually talked to the daughter yesterday and told her I would work with her. She asked me to get some estimates for her so she could have it tore down. She's in Virginia.
Nobody's here,
No.
luckily. Have you gotten those estimates to get it torn down?
Not yet. I called yesterday to get some. They haven't come in yet.
What's the pleasure? What do you think what's your suggestion? I mean, there's not much, another 30 days? If I get an answer?
I would say anywhere between 30 and 60. Because sometimes it takes a little time for those guys to get back to me with those estimates.
Maybe they need to move a little faster.
Exactly.
Keep bugging them.
I do.
30 days? Please.
30 days,
Good. What else? Anything else? But I don't know any details. No, I don't know what he has, what legwork he's done.
Anybody know where the Senate bill stands for mineral?
I do not, I haven't, the most recent, I do not know where that update is at this point, or where the status of that bill is at this point.
I haven't.
Susan, are you guys in favor of the bill that's being passed to take away the powers of the health department, put it back in our lap?
No, I'm not in favor of it at all. Because there's like, the papers saying that they amended. No, that. No.
Oh, I think it's the MOU.
Okay.
We direct the letter
Well, that's part of the resolution.
to the sponsors.
Could we do that when we get the John, this way the corrections and commission?
I'm sorry,
The bill for taking
Well,
our
We
away
probably
from
did that stuff before.
health department. down to the-
Oh,
It's part of
okay.
The resolution is kind of covers you.
Is it that?
yes, I can draft a letter for the commissioner's signatures.
Saying
If
that the president,
Vote on that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is that in there?
that the president, yeah,
If we get the letter
And
to
then if I-
John,
that's-
then he'll
if I-
get it
that's
to the
the same
sponsor
thing.
for us, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and we
Is
can
it the one that
forward it to our
he
delegation,
signed and,
Yes.
Rachel signed?
because it
Yeah.
was indicated in Charleston that Harrison County was in favor of that legislation.
Okay.
Just,
Yes.
and then I'll sign it.
That's why I'm asking.
I don't know where that came from.
And just so you know, to help them on the region,
I gotta make sure I
we
got all
as a
these.
consensus are against that.
Okay,
Well, that's why I was asking you two where you stood with that because of what was said.
We don't want that. I don't.
That Harrison County's in support of.
I had a call that Harrison County was in support of that legislation.
And I didn't know.
I've never, this is the first time I've spoke to anybody about it, so.
So I asked we could send a letter saying we're not in support.
How many times did you sign? How many times?
We will draft that today.
Yeah, I was thinking there was 3 of them.
And if you two don't have an issue, I'd like to also send a letter to not support changing the way minerals are taxed. I want to take the $175,000 cap off and allow all expenditures, which are pretty much will be to get tax money.
We will draft a letter on that also.
The other one is, I forget which bill, but they want to change the way real estate can be
Yeah, must have just been 2. Okay.
challenged, it's gonna have to come in with an appraisal.
And then I'll take it to the same hall. You need.
Take it to the state. Letter out, keep it in locally and not allow the state to set up courts to handle real estate values. It should be kept local. Those 3 bills are be very damaging to the county.
Oh, you know what we can do? Robert wishes to speak. We have 2 minutes until our next. Anybody have a problem with the sheriff speaking? Okay, Robert.
Can he unmute himself?
Yeah, okay, I'm good now. I just wanted to speak again on the security issues. By resolution of your commission, the sheriff oversees security operations. And if you're gonna want to change up the daily security plan, I would suggest that you get with me to discuss that. And I wanted to clear up a few things. I think that the extra work that we have by the 3rd Street door is probably covered by CARES Act. Willie, you could surely correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think the extra security that we put out is going to be covered by outside funding. But if we want to close the 3rd Street, it kind of caught me off guard because we've got a $23,000 X-ray machine that you guys bought 2 years ago that's still sitting in the basement in shrink wrap on a cart for that 3rd Street entrance. You paid several thousands of dollars for a door to be replaced there at 3rd Street or some type of addition, all without talking to the sheriff about it. And now you want to, in a meeting, change security plan. So I would suggest that you do 1 of 2 things, that you meet with me to decide, what we want to do as far as security, because yes, you fund the bill and that's an important part of it. But I'm offended that you would not, discuss that with me prior to an open meeting, or that you resolve your resolution and that the commission oversees security, which I think is a terrible idea, because I don't think that any of you are even closely uniquely as qualified as the sheriff or law enforcement to handle that task. So I just wanted to say that part.
So noted.
Thank you.
11:15.
He has the information on Terra Properties.
Oh, that's the one that he looked up. That's what
I couldn't find them, but he did.
Robert, do you have information on Terra Properties?
I do. In fact, I tracked down the legal representation, which is Mr. Rock Wilson for Terra Property. I thought I had a good phone number and I couldn't reach him yesterday, but I did get a hold of him this morning. His client, he didn't give me the name of his client, but they are out of Baltimore, Maryland. I gave him Ms. Schaefer's contact information, and he told me that he assured me that they would get a hold of the planning department.
Thank you very much for doing that.
And also followed up with an email. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a chunk of change.
Charlotte,
Yes.
on this Terra property, is that
What did
another
you say?
house back there?
Is it another what?
House to the left of the one you got in the picture?
No, what it is, I think homeless people have, gone in there and squatted. There's just, all kinds of garbage and it looks like this house exploded outside. There's clothes everywhere. There's garbage everywhere. Cars. It's crazy. It's horrible.
Somebody's paying the electric bill, or is it they,
I don't know, because the person that had it was Benjamin Basil. Mr. Basil, I think he passed not too long ago, and these Terra Properties took it over. And we haven't been able to get a hold of them.
I just noticed they had tire lines strung through the air to all kinds of buildings.
Yeah, they've done a lot of crazy stuff out there. That's the one where Ron always used to say, I think they got a meth building.
So this is, we're now working with the new owner.
Yes. We were actually ready to take this one to Circuit Court. Well, he passed, so let's start over.
And you don't have a contact person at Terra Properties?
Yeah, that's what Robert just. Rock Wilson's an attorney.
So what are the steps you'll go through now to, with them?
Well, hopefully their lawyer will call and, we'll give them so much time to get it cleaned up and take it from there. And if they don't, well, then you'll be seeing them. I know on the Hart building, Donna Hart's supposed to go to Trey's office today and sign her property over. And I have 2 estimates so far to have that tore down. I'm waiting on one more. It should be in today, no later than Friday. So I'll be able to move on that one pretty quickly.
Anything else on the walls?
Yeah, been getting a lot of calls about the wall list. Everybody wants to clean that one up. I actually had the first person to give me an estimate come back and give me an even lower estimate yesterday. But as far as us owning it yet, we don't. We still, I mean, it's still pretty high. The amount to clean it up, it's still pretty high.
It costs more to clean up than the on a main road.
I don't know. I'd have to talk with Danny. I think that, I don't think that the house is, I don't think the house is ready to be torn down. It doesn't look great, but I don't think it's too dilapidated. So you're probably just looking at the outside stuff, so you're probably thinking at the most 5,000.
How much is in our fund right now?
Put that copy on your chair. I do not know. I'd have to get with Willie later and check that out.
Did you by chance find that, Garrett?
I printed it off and I have not followed up yet, but yes, I'm gonna get with Mr. Dale and review that.
I just like somebody to reach out to me. I don't know whether
Yeah, I can do that.
because it looks like to me it's. they can talk about it.
Susan and Dave, the window thing is, I just got off the phone a little bit ago with the foreman from City Window. They had to cancel last week due to the weather. So I'm gonna be here with them 6 o'clock Friday morning, unless it's pouring rain down or something, but 6 o'clock Friday morning, we'll try it again.
Huh?
Welcome, guys.
I still didn't hear you.
We have a 12:30 appointment board
Oh,
review.
that's
which was
right,
ex-
that's right. You gotta open at 11:30. He doesn't come at 12:30. Although, you're the one that just pointed it out to me. Was that? It's not on here.
Now, the board review and equalization, it opens at 11:30, but we scheduled appointments throughout that time period. We didn't put, that appointment on the regular agenda, but he's scheduled for 12:30.
Surprise, surprise. Of course, I knew it was scheduled, but I didn't, I forgot.
Doug Murray?
All right, that's it.
This is a reschedule.
Yes, it was rescheduled due to the weather from last week.
Right. So I don't think the weather will be an issue today. It's pretty nice out there.
Recess.
That's what they say. Got some yard work.
It's 11:30. According to my computer. I guess we will reconvene the board of review and equalization for February the 24th at 11:30. We have Alan Free and Dan Dorsey from the assessor's office. I note that Commissioner Thomas and Hinkle are here, no tree calls. Do you guys have anything at this point? And my understanding is we have somebody scheduled at 12:30.
12:30.
So we need to, a motion to recess. And then come come back at 12:30.
Motion to recess.
Motion to recess. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Ellie, you're from, oh, did you want something else?
No, we're gonna,
Oh,
we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Roderick,
Yeah.
you want to go ahead and take that, or do you want to wait till for 15 minutes? Are you the only one coming?
Yes, ma'am.
Special funding request. Got it? I'm all right with it, unless you want to search for somebody else coming.
Do you want to go ahead and do it now, or did you want to wait?
Yeah, we can do it now.
Okay.
I'll just briefly introduce myself. I'm Marty Broderick. I'm the President and Director of Operations for Handshake. And just to give you a little history, this organization started in a little coal mining town in Illinois 8 years ago, where I grew up. And my buddies have been putting on this event, like I said, for 8 years. In 2018, they asked me if I would try to get a chapter open here. I did, and there were some challenges behind getting a 501c3, but we did it. And I want to say the Harrison County Commission was very instrumental in our success in 2019 for our first event. And due to COVID, we were going to partner up and do a 5K run at the beginning of our event last year, and COVID really put a kibosh on it. But we're getting traction. Our first event, we had over 350 veterans show up in downtown Lost Creek on a rainy day. So we're expecting 500 plus, maybe even 1,000, because we've been really hitting it hard during the COVID process. But during this time, we took on a bunch of community service projects as well. We are now in the UV fogging sanitization industry. We're helping veterans who can't afford to pay bacteria busters sanitize their homes. We're doing it free of charge. And we partnered with Bacteria Busters to do this. So we got our hands full, but this event is coming up in May, and we're expecting a good turnout. We're expecting, just like the first year, 50 people from Illinois alone that come and support us and help us. The Best Western downtown Bridgeport, or right on the hill there, they block off 50 rooms for us and give them a discount for coming if they're with Operation Firm Handshake. But yeah, we're unfortunately, like everybody else due to COVID, in need of some special funding. And we were hoping you guys could assist us, and I understand everyone's in a tight budget, but it is a request we could greatly use to help our veterans.
All the paperwork is in order.
Yes, the funding request is in order. The request is for $2,000. They've submitted their, supporting documentation, so they have all their necessary documentation.
Any questions, David?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Quite
welcome.
We gave you what, 2,000
Yes,
and 19?
that's correct, Commissioner.
Was that to go towards the 5K or the?
No, that was
Okay.
to help us kick off our event.
Okay.
Motion for 2,000.
Okay, the motion for the 2,000 donation. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. No one here to oppose it, so. there
Thank
go.
you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your service
Thank you.
and what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we on hold again?
Yep.
I got a question. I have this real estate purchase agreement waiting in front of me. Mr. Parker.
Big Dan?
estate purchase agreement.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service, Marty.
Thank you.
Approving it, discussing it.
I think that's,
That's not us, that's on that.
that was for the one of the properties that was sold on the public nuisance, Mr. Keener, that's their purchase agreement. Ms. Schaefer just provided a copy.
This is recruitment announcement.
Let's see.
Something that we're gonna go over, whether or not we're going to do all this or.
I'm using that to draft based on our agreement that we have in place with him of what functions he will do.
Mr. President, I'd like to put this on Monday's agenda for us to discuss what we want to advise staff.
All right.
Your extra copy.
Thank you.
Not make it bad, yeah,
That's all right.
That's fine.
And either the sheriff or Mr. Melbert.
Because we put that on Monday's agenda, did we not?
Yes.
Invite them.
All right, we will make sure they're aware and have a special invitation.
Also, just to let everybody know, yesterday afternoon, I met with the sheriff and the engineer and Mr. Decker from Thrasher and went through the Main Street and Pike Street properties. Pointed out some things and they're gonna get back with us. But we did do that yesterday afternoon. Must not be anybody watching the front door.
I
snuck in the side.
What do you do?
What do you do? I don't care.
Hi, how are you? Oh,
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I do. I owe you more than one for that.
And got work, he just talked.
You're right.
I've been here long enough. I know better.
It's crazy.
Mr. Hooper. Early.
We're gonna go to lunch. Make them wait.
I better do it over with. Shouldn't take long.
This is bad enough. This is probably worse.
Need to point out the obvious, but if you leave for lunch, they will wait.
Yeah, they will.
I don't know where our other one
I
went.
have no idea. Were you the only one coming there, Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Would you
That
like-
disappoints you?
I mean, I know
Gee,
you're not,
thanks.
I know you're not scheduled till 12, but if Mr. Hinkle doesn't care, we can go ahead and let you, update us early.
That's fine with me.
I guess I'm here at the request of the board. I just thought that we ought to keep you kind of updated on what we're doing. Can you hear me okay?
I can't.
If you can't, please just say something. Okay. You know, we're doing, it's two projects. We're doing the enterprise project and phase two. Phase two consists of contracts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Contract 1 is the Clarksburg Country Club area. Contract 2 is Laurel Park. Contract 3 is Route 73 Saltwell. And contract 4 is the wastewater plant, excuse me, in Boozeville. And currently, you know, I'll start with 1, 2. 1 is Clarksburg Country Club. We hope to be ready next 2 or 3 weeks. They should finish all the rough construction. It's reclamation will need done. Power, of course, waiting on the power company, but we hope to send letters out probably the end of March. And the board has let 60 days is the time frame they're giving people to tie on. That's contract 1. 2, the Laurel Park area. We sent letters out the end of January, 1st of February. Substantial completion is done there. People are allowed to tie onto the sewage right now. So we've probably got, I want to guess, 12 customers in the Laurel Park area are already making use of the services. Contract 3, that one's a little slower. Been a few delays with construction, the COVID. We're probably at about 40% complete down there. We hope to have sewage to the plant sometime in June or July. We're currently trying to work with them to turn on a section at a time. Or we might be able to get like Boothville Apartments. That's a low income housing, I do believe. Some mobile homes. Some of those sections we'll be able to tie on. That's what we're working in that area. The plant is done, substantial completion. Telemetry, we just don't have any sewage going to the plant. Enterprise, we finally got started down there about 6 weeks ago. We're not very far complete. 35% complete in Enterprise. And that's going to be a long job. That's 540 days. Yeah, there's 70-some thousand feet of pipe. It's quite a job. But with the weather, you know, they're working. Last week, they didn't get to work at all. It's been tough. Rover on contract 3 was the only contractor to experience any COVID problems. They lost a couple crews. Pro Contracting is doing Enterprise and contracts 1 and 2. They've been fortunate. The only thing they've missed has been weather related. We're pleased with the progress. And we're going to pick up, Country Club's got about 223 customers, Laurel Park about 90, Route 73 is about 443, and Enterprise, we're looking at about 380. We've been lucky. On Route 73, we've actually picked up additional customers, people that were wanting to build. So we've added probably 12 down there we didn't anticipate. Clarksburg Country Club, we've picked up a few additional. So hopefully come fall, have this sewer thing wiped out. I got some good news to report on Stevens Run. I don't know, Commissioner Hinkle, were you here when Mr. Shear approached?
Yes.
We were able to come up with some critical need money. We got $799,000 grant money. Unfortunately, this just takes care of 31 customers on Stevens Run. When we looked at it, it was Stevens Run, Hastings Run. Now this is water. We had to bust it up. So 6 years ago, I think we started on Hoop Hole, Turkey Run, Long Run, Stevens Run, and Hastings Run. Hopefully by July, we'll should be out to bid for Stevens Run. We have completed Turkey Run, Hoop Hole, Stevens Run. So we've done pretty well over there with all grant money, and hopefully get some more grant money and take care of the people on Hastings Run. I think we had a total customer count 70, and we're roughly half of them are going to be able to do it. No impact to the ratepayer, which is always good.
What happens to all the private package sewer plants?
You have to decommission those.
Who has to decommission?
Depends who owns them. Deer Trail, for example, Country Club, they own their own facility. That homeowners association will get rid of it. Windsor Hills, same thing. We own Woodcrest Acres, Harold's, Clarksburg Country Club, the district owns probably 4 that we have to decommission. What we do is we pump the Supernate off the top. We'll pump that into the collection system. We get a truck in there to remove the sludge, and then we crush them. You're allowed to crush them in place, fill the void, seed mulch, and maybe give the land to the county. Huh?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Check with the adjacent home.
Has all the right of way been purchased?
Yes. On sewer project, yes. Stevens Run, we're just starting to work that. You know, we just, we're looking for a binding letter of commitment. So we only need 5 right of ways and 1 fee take, 1 property acquisition on Stevens Run for a pump station.
Mr. Parker, you know why I asked that question?
Yes, I do.
If you could find out information on when we'll receive that money back, I would appreciate it.
We have received $230-some thousand already back. Yes.
Good.
Yes. As far as I know, I mean, as it relates to the right of ways, I'm working with Mr. Dobbins on Coons Run. I've got to get him some information. I was out for a couple of weeks, so he's asked for some information that I need to get him.
PSC is actually,
PSC is still
might took care of that, I think.
looking through the documents. Todd Swanson has on the merger of Greater Harrison and Coons Run. Todd Swanson, the attorney for Greater Harrison, has provided 2 sets of responses to questions that the Public Service Commission had.
Which we might add, those questions were answered by Jim Weimer 2 years ago.
Yes, yeah, I mean, the questions that have already been answered at least once.
Beg your pardon? Yes, which this time, you know, a lawyer has to answer them, so it costs the district money that has no money, which makes no sense. Which I called the PSC and voiced my opinion. Yeah, did no good, but
We ever got an agreement between us and Greater Harrison,
As it relates to,
the whole thing, them operating, taken care of with the money we're paying, are we getting any of it back?
we will be providing that information. That's the information I'm going to be providing to Zach.
How much money they've collected from,
I'll have to work with Zach on that, or Mr. Dobbins. I do not know that off the top of my head.
so when I look at your all's income statements, they do not include anything from Coons Run.
Coons Run gets a separate one.
Because I never see anything from Coons Run. Financials.
Should be, you getting your emails? We had a problem. We were just sending them to Willie and Marcia. They weren't getting to you, so they should be going to all the commissioners now.
I get Greater Harrison, but I'm not seeing anything that separates. Coons
You see
Run.
Greater Harrison's?
I do not believe so. I'm not, I mean, maybe I need to double check. But I mean, we're getting emails, not like, you know. when they-
Should be from Zach. Okay, I'll check and see why. I thought you were copied on all of them. You should be.
You'll check on it.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything on Coons Run.
Can you check on that one too?
Coons Run's actually going kind of well. It's not a bad system. It's kind of difficult to judge water loss. You're buying water from Monongah. And we put a remote read meter in there, but it bounces around 30%. Fair Oaks, sometimes it'll be -5. So we don't have any test meters throughout that system that we can see what we're losing up certain hollows or what we're using. But this is the first month we had to estimate meters since we started reading meters over there. Weather. Customers are getting regular monthly bills. We have very few complaints. Most people are appreciative that a human answers the phone when they call with a complaint. And what we think is a long response time, they think is a quick response time. So Coons Run has not been that bad. Any questions?
I don't have any at this point now.
Like to come out and see it sometime, let me know. I mean, the plant, it looks nice. Can't wait till we start getting some flow to it.
That's capacity.
360,000 with potential doubling it. We bought enough property that we can actually put a plant identical to it beside it. It's off the beaten path. We're kind of anxious to see it operate. Everything's high tech now, computerized, touch pads. You know, I'm old school. I've never got to do anything like that. So everybody's looking forward to operating that plant. Got one issue. We have a slip on a road we have to deal with. It was an area that we really weren't concerned with. Prior to construction, we found, really couldn't tell when you walk through the woods, this slip must have been there for decades. You could actually see where if the ground slips, a tree will slip. And then as time goes on, the tree will straighten up. So you could tell that it was an old slip because the trees had moved and they had been around, they were growing straight, which indicates a strip from decades ago. That's an area we staked and watched. And we had another section of that road that actually gave way. So that's the only surprise we've had is that slip on that road. We hope to get it fixed in the spring.
I don't have any other questions.
And I will find out about Coons Run for you. You got anything, Willie?
Not that I know of.
Glad you're back.
Bless you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Have a wonderful day.
You do the same.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion on the recess phone calls.
Aye.
Delay the recording.
Yes, sir.
Motion carried.
You're unmuted and recording.
Okay, Mr. Heister, you can come up here if you would like. Let us know what you're doing here.
All right. Well, you know a little bit. I told you we're building a home in my grandparents' location. They built there in 1930 in Hinkle Lake. David, I don't know if you've ever been there or not. But this is I'll bring these all around. This is an overview, and I'll give you something too. Who do I need to pass out to? Just the three of y'all?
Mm-hmm.
This is the property here. And what we're doing is we're building a home right here. We have 3 lots. And what we're proposing to do is, I'll get you this. Kind of explain it to you. The city of Bridgeport doesn't provide water or sewer there because it is not in the city of Bridgeport. It is, out, whatever.
Thank you.
But we have received water from Bridgeport because they have it here. This is where Bonamiko developed 4 lots up here. And there is water and sewer right here. So Tiny Grimes brought me water from the city of Bridgeport to my property. And what we're wanting to do is, he's also offered, if I can get it from here to here, he will allow me to tap into their sewer line. And the only thing I have to do is get a right of way. This is an alleyway that's never been used. That's where they put the water. But because he can't offer it to everybody, I don't know how to say that. It's not going to be open, that.
Anybody can tap into.
Right. There's only 4 people that can get on it. But eventually they will bring water to the main road. and sewer. But what we need to do is we need to get an approval to run an 1.5-inch line along our property, which is 350 feet, and make a 90-degree to the sewage pickup up here. And again, it's all other on my property or on the old right of way, which is an alleyway which probably will never be ever developed.
Since the road that comes up down to these lots up in here, but
Yes. That's the road that is on the development.
this Tom's house, one of these.
Mark is one and Tom is the other. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's Tom.
I owned all this.
Did you? So I mean, I don't know, is there any proper, any special procedure we need to go through? Ask this of the county. You asked me if I had an attorney. We got attorneys, but I don't know if it's that complex. I'd be glad to, have them write up whatever.
I don't know.
Do you see where we are
Water
with
and the
the
sewage coming from right now, Steve,
I'm sorry?
so up to here, they
Yeah.
have water, sewage.
Water, sewage, all the way 4 lots.
Yeah.
And Mark has hooked up to it here, and I think Tom has just the water.
And where's the main lines at? Down here.
Out here, where the dog park is.
Down the dog park.
Uh-huh. And they have, this all runs together to the dog park, but. And it's, what happens is it's on the other side of the road and it goes down to the hill. I have a system that, I thought I brought it up with me. It's an Echo One system. I've used it in my trailer park for campers at Timber Creek in Wilsonburg. And it processes 130 gallons of waste per minute. I've got 47 campers. I've had 47 campers. It handles all of that. And Kevin Short from Sun Valley PSD told me that'll work perfectly for you at your house. He said, I'll even install it for you. Whatever. There'll be no discharge for, like there would be on a septic tank. It's, got a lot
So
of
these
flush.
are county, I mean, they're not the development's roads.
No, they're county.
County.
That's what I had to do when I owned all this. There were roads up in here like this, because I thought like I don't know, like a bunch of lots like this, and I had to go and get come up here and get the right of ways. In the county, so I could turn it into one big lot.
That's what I plan on doing here, once we get this taken care of, because there's one of the roads we're talking about, the alleyway. And this man here, Joe Ritchie from the FBI, he wants to come with me, and we can get those two put to bed. But between the two of us, we own, well, there's 7 here, and he's got 8, so 15, and I own these up here, so we've got 18 lots right there.
But then the family, black dog on the other side of it.
Actually, I don't mean to correct you, but I think it's the Harrington family.
They own them now, but Benetton.
All had them, yeah. Right.
See, the only thing I see is if we're gonna run down on the county property line like that, and Mr. Parker, you'd have to tell me whether or not this is the case, but if we allow him to use that right of way, then anybody can access it.
I would have to get with Mr. Zimmerman. I am not sure. I've never dealt with this
I know, so
before.
when I
In
told
30
when I
years,
talked to him
I've
yesterday, this is the first I've ever heard of
never
it.
dealt with this in 30 years, so.
Okay.
Way to go, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And the house is almost built, so it's not like I'm under the gun or anything. I mean, we have approved septic here, but I hate to spend $11,000 on the sewage, what's it called, jet aeration system, and I have this accessible to me. It's gonna cost me about the same money, but there'll be no maintenance down the road.
So you had an attorney.
I'll have, sure.
If I could get that information, and I'd have Trey Zimmerman get with his counsel and see what we,
Okay.
so let me give you the card.
When we do that, Steve, these other people, whoever owns these, still have the right to this alleyway.
Right.
So at this point, it's a road, this is the alley.
Thank you, sir. Now, we've got, like I said, Sun Valley's agreed to do it, Bridgeport, Tiny Times agreed to do it. Whoever make the connection, so it's gonna be a halfway range deal.
Right.
And it's continuous water line, there's a continuous line. There's no chances for leakage or anything like that.
Most of those people out there on well water.
Yes. And it's disgusting. It's egg water.
Back to where what city or PSP
Take over.
and run the line.
Mhm. And Bridgeport's got water down to the church. The corner, they got water and sewer there, but everybody from the church to actually Mark Shepler are without water and sewer.
All right, that water and sewage everywhere up
Mm-hmm.
in town. But aren't in the city.
Right. And make some revenue is all it is, you know.
Yeah, it's just a matter of running the line down.
Okay, so we'll talk to Simmerman and,
Yeah, if you could zip me your contact information, your attorney's contact information, just in an email,
I'll be glad to.
and then I can forward that to Trey and I'll get him this information.
Okay. I know
And,
True, I'll be glad to talk to you.
okay, and see what the best way to go or how we go.
Okay, sounds good, appreciate it. Thanks all for taking this. You can keep the record or whatever. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Oh.
Need that. Madam President, as far as I know, that would conclude our regular meeting. And then unless there's other items you would need to take care of, you could adjourn the regular meeting and then we could reconvene as a board review. legal session.
Good. Aye. Motion carried.